Hey everybody, how is it going today? In this video, I want to talk about GNUS Brands, ticker symbol GNUS. They've had some news that has come out lately, so I want to go over that. Plus, I want to get into their chart because it's setting up for a potentially nice looking breakout. And then after that, I also have some other nice looking charts that I want to show you. Now, if you're new to my channel, I like to invest and trade in typically lower priced stocks. If that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing so you don't miss any future trading or investing ideas. But please remember, I am not a financial advisor, so please do all of your own research before investing in any of these stocks. All right, well, I'm going to get into the news first, and in the most recent news article, it says, GNUS Brands International announced on March 16th that the Oscar-nominated writer for Pixar's Toy Story would serve as the head writer and executive producer for the new children's series Shaq's Garage, which is scheduled to appear in the fall on the Cartoon Channel. Shaquille O'Neal is one of the more successful NBA basketball stars, and he tends to invest in businesses that he thinks will make a difference in people's lives. Like many people, he learned the hard way that due diligence is essential for any investment you are considering making. So the fact that Shaquille O'Neal is willing to work with GNUS Brands to deliver an all-new animated show for kids says something about the content creator's future potential. Now, the question is whether GNUS Brands can duplicate this over and over again like Disney did. Today, Disney is a $347 billion company that's been able to create an entire streaming network called Disney Plus from all its various content silos, including Marvel, Pixar, and Star Wars. Now, while GNUS Brands has a long way to go to rival Disney, an association with one of the best basketball players to play in the NBA can't hurt. And it also can't hurt that it's producing content with Tankey, a kids gaming network that revolves around Roblox. And in another news article, GNUS Brands International stock rose last week, likely due to investors on social media anticipating a Marvel announcement coming on March 30th. Adding to this, GNUS investors are preparing for the company to release its most recent earnings report, and forecasts based on its previous earnings release say it should come out sometime today. Now, that should give investors insight into how the company has been doing these last few months. All right, guys, so let's jump over to my TC2000 charting software and look how the chart is shaping up. This is the daily chart for GNUS Brands International, ticker symbol GNUS, and this stock chart is going all the way back to April of last year, so this is about a 12-month chart. But you can see the huge run that it had in May, and it's since been just trading down, grinding down slowly, and it's starting to make this nice rounded bottom. And if you look over to the right side of the chart, you can see the volume is starting to pour back into the stock like it did before it went on that huge run last May. So the volume looks like it is coming in. The rounded bottom looks like it is starting to form very nicely. And we can see it was testing the highs that it made in January just a couple days ago. It pulled back mainly because probably the market was weak, but it held that 8-period exponential moving average. And it looks like it is preparing to blast off. So I think it all depends on some of this news that's supposed to come out in the next couple of days. Either that Marvel announcement or a good earnings announcement should be enough to catapult this thing higher, because a lot of volume is coming into the stock. It has been drifting higher, holding that 8-period exponential moving average the whole time. This is a very healthy looking uptrend in the short term, and it looks like it is definitely being accumulated. Now, if we go to the 15-minute chart, let's take a look at some of the intraday action. And as we can see, this thing came all the way down to the 200-period simple moving average on the 15-minute chart. It held that support and has been grinding up ever since. We got a nice creeping trend. Now, all we need is a move up and then a pullback right down on top of the last level, and it could be off to the races for GNUS Brands. And you can see every time this thing has had a sharp move up, it's been accompanied by a ton of volume, and the sell-offs have come on much less volume. So that's telling you it is being accumulated in the short term. I think in anticipation of probably some good news that's coming out, maybe that deal with Marvel, or the earnings are probably going to come in pretty nice. I mean, who knows? We should know in the next couple of days or so. But this is a very, very bullish chart, and especially in a market where A lot of these lower price stocks have been getting chopped up pretty bad. This one is one of the better looking ones that I have seen in the last couple of weeks. And if we go to the weekly chart, try to take a little bit of a longer view on this chart, we can see that it's definitely forming a very nice rounded bottom, held support at that 50 period simple moving average, and now it is starting to float higher. And you can also see the volume coming in the last several weeks more clearly on this weekly chart. So I think Genius Brands is potentially setting up for a pretty good run. And we knew what happened last time it went on a big run back in May. I mean, this thing can really get going when it wants to. So I don't own any of this stock right now, but I am going to be watching this, and if those news catalysts come out in a positive manner, I'm going to strongly consider buying some of Genius Brands. Because this market has been chopping around so much, I've been really hesitant to pull the trigger on new positions because it just seems like every time I get in one now, especially on all of these lower price stocks, I'm just getting chopped to pieces. You guys have probably been noticing that as well. When the market gets into a choppy market like it's been right now, I like to hold back on some of my longer term positions, like longer holds or even the swing trades, and just kind of stick to day trading because those seem like those are easier to have winning trades. But I'm still going to be keeping an eye on Genius Brands because this is a very intriguing company and a very nice looking chart pattern. I mean, there's no denying that this thing has been under heavy accumulation for the last several months. So I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on GNUS. All right, so let's get into some of those other nice looking charts that I wanted to show you guys. I'm not going to be taking any new positions, most likely, because I want to get some more direction out of the market before I start opening up some new ones, and I don't own any of these, but they are nice looking chart patterns nonetheless. First one I want to show you is Steel Connect Incorporated, ticker symbol STCN. This one had a huge run in January, almost made it to $3 a share, but has been drifting lower ever since. Came down to the 50 period simple moving average, that blue line on the chart just a couple of weeks ago. Looked like it was going to break it, but immediately reversed and got back above it, and I love to see that in a chart like this. Usually those false breaks end up being the change in direction, and it looks like that could be happening in STCN. It started following the 50 period simple moving average up, almost looked like it was going to roll over, but now today is getting a boost back above it on some pretty decent volume. If we zoom in a little bit, we can see today's volume has been much higher than the last several weeks. So volume is starting to pour back into this stock. Now, it did have that nice break of this support level and then just jumped right back above it. So if this stock can get a little bit higher and start to drift sideways to up until these moving averages catches up, I think that has a pretty good chance of boosting it out past $3 a share. Of course, it's got to get just a little bit higher and then consolidate at those higher levels, and I think that'll give it a better chance to reach a new high. And then, of course, you have this clear-cut support line right here. So if you were to enter it, if it did that, this would be the area where you would want to place your stop loss, because if it breaks this support level, chances are the pattern is broken and it's going to roll over. All right, next one I want to show you is HOFV. Now, I do not own this one, but one of the guys in the Patreon owns this one, and this one is probably the nicest looking chart as far as the NFTs go, and this one looks like it is poised to make a new high, which is saying a lot because this thing went on a pretty good run. I mean, look at the volume down here. Normally, this stock would be lucky if it got over 10 million shares in the day, and it had right around 3 days in the last couple weeks where it traded over 200 million shares. So volume is screaming into this stock, and I'm guessing with the way the volume is continuing to come into this stock, this run is not over yet. Held that 8-period exponential moving average perfectly just a couple of days ago, and now it looks like it is going to be boosting it higher. This is what I want to see in some of those other stocks. I want to see it kind of boost higher and then drift a little bit higher as it's holding that moving average. That gives it a better possibility of making it to a new high. But HOFV, definitely a nice looking chart. Next one I want to show you is TH. Let me back out the chart a little bit here. Now, I do like TH. If I was taking new positions, this might be the one that I would be jumping in. This one is in the oil and gas sector and has made a very nice rounded bottom. There's that false break that I like to see, and now it is above this resistance area that I drew on the chart, so now that should be support. So, if this stock can hold, which it looks like it's going to do, I think there is a great possibility of this thing moving higher and heading towards $4 a share. But we got to have that hold, and a nice thing about these support levels is that is an easy place to put your stop loss. If this thing does break down through it and hold below that, then you can tell the chart pattern is broken, at least in the short term, and that's when I like to just get out and look for a better opportunity. But TH definitely looks like a fantastic looking chart. And the last one I want to show you is UEC. UEC has a little bit more of a constructive pattern. Definitely it is moving into the trend acceleration phase. Pulled back to these moving averages. Those moving averages are cradling the stock price, and it's starting to move it higher. It did have a decent move up yesterday, or I should say last Friday, and it is holding that 8-period exponential moving average today, and it is holding near the high. So that's what I like to see. If it can hold for a couple of days and then break above the high of just a couple of days ago, I think there's a good chance it could break to a new 52-week high on UEC for sure. Unfortunately, I am not taking any new positions, but this one is a very nice looking chart pattern as well, and you can definitely see all the volume pouring in. You see this volume pouring in when a stock has broke out and is starting to hold those moving averages. Chances are the move is not over yet, so I definitely think UEC looks really good right now. All right, guys, well, that's all I have for this video, so I'm going to end it right there. But if you have any questions about any of these stocks, or if you have any other stocks you want me to take a look at, please leave them down there in the comment section. I will get to them as soon as I can. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching my video all the way to the end, guys, and until next time, take care.